Hello friends, welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making never fail, no knead dinner rolls. So everything you see on my counter is what we're going to use to start to make the dough for these dinner rolls. And we're going to start out with making up our yeast. So you're going to need a bowl to mix this up in, and we're going to start out with 1 1/3 cups of warm water. You need to make sure this is not really hot scalding water because you will kill the yeast if you do that. And to this we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar. The sugar is for the yeast to feed off of to activate it. So that way when we get our yeast in the bowl, it's going to stay in there for at least 5 minutes feeding off the sugar, and it's going to get really frothy, and that way you know that your yeast is good. So we're going to go ahead and cut these packets open. Make sure you have rapid rise yeast. We don't want to use the other kinds because they will take too long for this process. So go ahead and cut open both packets and dump them into your bowl. And when you get them in there, you're going to go ahead and start stirring this. This is to mix the yeast through the water, but also get the sugar stirred up too, so that way it's all through the water. And you're going to want to do this for a couple minutes because there are going to be lumps of yeast, because when the water and the yeast get together, they're going to try to clump up a bit. So you're going to have to stir it, break it up, and make sure that you've gotten this all separated to where you don't have large pieces of yeast floating on top of your water. If you do see them, go ahead and break them up. It's something you need to get done immediately once you get this all together, because once we get everything mixed up, this is going to sit, like I said, for like 5 minutes, and you want to just leave it undisturbed. You don't want to mess with it. You don't want to do anything to it while it's sitting and getting frothy, because when it gets frothy, that's how you know that your yeast is actually active and working. So stir it up at first, get everything mixed through, and make sure that it's right. So as you can see with some of the lumps as I'm stirring mine up, if you get them to the side of your bowl, you can use like a spatula to break them up a bit, and that way that will help the whole process. Now, as you can see on my counter, I am using a stand mixer with a dough hook. The dough hook is going to be there from the beginning because it actually does pull everything together before it starts actually kneading it and working it and making everything pull together. So if you have a stand mixer, you definitely need your dough hook on there. So now that my yeast is all mixed up, I'm going to the mixer now. And in my bowl, I already have 4 1/2 cups of flour. And to this, I'm adding an egg. And then I'm going to add about 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And once this is in, I'm going to go ahead and just run the mixer for maybe 30 seconds to whatever, to just mix this up a little bit before I add the next ingredients. Now, once you've done this and mixed it up a bit, you will probably need to use a spatula to take down the sides of your bowl, because we want them kind of in the center as we're mixing. Now, to this, we are adding a teaspoon of salt, and then we are going to add 1/4 cup of sugar to it. And then, since we actually have our yeast ready to go, we're going to pour that in as well. And you can see that it is frothy. And once you pour it, you're going to use a spatula to actually scrape the insides of your bowl to get as much of this in as possible, because we want to use all of the yeast that we made up. I mean, if it's there, you might as well use it, but just squeegee it out with a spatula, get as much out as you can. You don't want to waste any of this. And now that it's in, we're going to go ahead and turn our mixer back on again and start it mixing up and pulling all these ingredients together. Now, as you turn it up and you get it going, you're going to notice that as the ingredients are pulling together, you will start to see that ball forming in the bottom. And that's what you want. You want to see this all stick together and pull everything from the sides and bottom of your mixer, as you can see with mine right now. And that means you have a really good mix when you've got this pulling together. Now, over the years that I've been making this, I have never had a time that this has ever failed on me. So this is a really good recipe. And once you get it all mixed up, you're going to use a spatula or whatever and scrape this down off your dough hook and get it down in the bottom of your bowl. Now, once you remove your bowl from the stand mixer and set it to the side, you're going to sprinkle some flour on top. This is basically to stop this from sticking to your hand while you're trying to remove it from the sides of the bowl and taking out the bottom. So realistically, you know, just sprinkle it enough to where you can actually work with this by hand. If you need to add a little more as you go, that's fine. And what you're just trying to do is get this completely released from the bottom, so that way when you go to transfer this into your next bowl, it's easy to take out. So now we're going to take a bowl, which we're going to coat with nonstick cooking spray, and we're going to give it a really good spray of this because we want quite a bit of that oil on the sides and bottom. And then we're going to turn out our dough into this bowl. Once we get it there, it's going to be like folding it back and forth a few times, so that way you can coat the outside with the oil from the bowl, because we want to make sure this doesn't dry out at all. And then form it into a ball, and then we're going to cover this with plastic wrap. And then this is going to sit for at least an hour, somewhere warm, not drafty, so that way this can actually rise. Now, it may actually rise up before the hour marker, but you want to make sure that this rises up enough to touch the plastic wrap on the top. And once it's risen up, then we're going to take off the plastic wrap, and then we're going to punch it down because we want to make sure that we get out some of the air bubbles that are in there. So if you just do it like 2-3 times, it's perfectly good. And then as you can see behind on the counter, I have some round cake pans, which I put aluminum foil into. And I'm also going to spray these with nonstick cooking spray, so that way when we actually start making our dinner rolls, they're going to go into this to go in the oven. The best thing about this foil is that once they're already cooked and you bring these back out of the oven, you can easily pull up on the foil and pop these out of your pans so your pans aren't dirty, but also beyond that, they're easier to deal with to bring them out to cool. So just get a hold of your dough, and what we're going to do is pull up the dough and kind of squeeze it off with our thumb in our hand, and then pull the sides up and twist the bottom. And that's how we're going to make the dough balls that we're putting into our pan. And you're just going to keep doing this one after the other until you have used all your dough. And it should be enough to make at least 14 or so rolls. Because once you get these in the pan, you're going to let these rise again for about 25 minutes. So when it's done, we're going to cover them with plastic wrap again, and then let them rise for the 25 minutes before they're even ready to go in the oven. Because you want these to get as big as possible so you have really great, nice, fluffy rolls. So after they've sit and risen up again for 25 minutes, this is what you're going to get. And what you want to do is melt some butter, which we're going to brush the tops of these before they go in the oven. So you need to preheat your oven to 400 degrees because these are going to be in there for about 25 minutes maybe, depending on how hot your oven gets. So brush every one of these and make sure they get a good coating of butter across the top. And when they come back from the oven, they'll look something like this, and we're going to add more butter to the top of them again. And don't worry, the actual rolls will soak up the butter. So you can actually be really liberal about putting a lot of butter on here. It's totally okay, because it just gives it such a great taste to have the butter on top of them. So do this for both your pans. And then you just have to let them cool for a good 5 minutes before you remove them from the pans, and you're ready to eat. And when you're done, they look something like this on your plate. If you're interested, I do have a recipe for my potato salad. I'll put that in the comments below. And I hope you liked this recipe. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out my cookbook, which is available on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide. Have a great day.